The Supreme Court kicked off its new 9-month term on Monday with Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson making history. She's the first black woman on the court since justices first took the bench in 1789. There are now 4 female justices serving on the court. Many observers expect the court's 6-3 conservative majority to bring another round of divisive decisions on issues like voting rights, elections, and LGBTQ discrimination. The High Court's last term ended with blockbuster rulings expanding gun rights and reversing Roe versus Wade. James Romoser joins me now for more. He's the editor of SCOTUSblog. James, so the Supreme Court,
how's it going?
It's very good. It's going well here. It's very good to have you. You know, while the Supreme Court was on their summer break, the justices did not stop having opinions. Elena Kagan suggested earlier in the summer the court would lose public confidence if it became seen as too political. Then last week, Justice Samuel Alito told the Wall Street Journal that saying or implying that the court was illegitimate crossed a certain kind of line that he saw. What's going on?
Yeah, and you've also seen John Roberts make some public comments as well, defending the so-called legitimacy of the Supreme Court. What's going on is that the 6 conservative justices on the court have moved incredibly fast and incredibly aggressively, even more aggressively than Roberts himself probably wanted to move in some cases. And it's hard to draw a conclusion other than the fact that the law has changed so dramatically and in such a sharply conservative direction for any reason other than the fact that there's been a lot of personnel changes on the court recently. Now, whether that makes the institution itself illegitimate, I think, is in the eye of the beholder. And I think the test will be how, other American institutions treat the court and whether they continue treating its rulings as illegitimate. Some would say that the Supreme Court has always handed down decisions and changed the law and changed precedent based on the ideological preferences of the justices. So perhaps what we're seeing is not anything new. It's just the fact that there are 6 very conservative people on the court right now.
Well, you put your finger on the exact challenge, which is if the court loses legitimacy in the public eye, then its rulings will be up for grabs. And we are at a moment in American life where some number of Americans, we saw it on January 6th, have decided if they don't like the rulings of a legitimate institution, they might take things into their own hands. So on that front, a record low of 74% of Americans say they have trust in the federal judiciary. 58% of Americans say they disapprove of the job the Supreme Court is doing. Gallup, these are the Gallup numbers, and Gallup said they've never had worse numbers for the Supreme Court. What can the court do, if anything, to fix those kinds of opinions about the work that it does?
One small step it could take is to be more transparent. It's a notoriously opaque institution. It issues opinions on a so-called shadow docket sometimes without even explaining its reasoning. It doesn't allow cameras in the court. A lot of its business is just very shielded, not only from the press, but from the public. It doesn't even have a formal ethics code. So it could take basic transparency and ethical steps. I don't see the court doing it on its own. Congress could also step in and perform more oversight of the court. Again, there doesn't seem to be very much appetite in Congress right now to take those steps. And so frankly, I don't see the status quo changing in the foreseeable future.
When you talked about the court moving aggressively, give me a sense of what's before the court. We don't have to walk through all of the challenges on their docket, but help me understand what aggressiveness looks like. Is it in the cases they take? Is it in pushing back precedent that is aggressive relative to what we used to expect from the court? Give me a template for thinking through how to decide whether the decisions they make in this next term are aggressive or not.
Yeah, the answer to that question, John, is yes, all of the above. It's both in the types of decisions they reach and in the cases that they decide to hear. And so I think you mentioned cases on affirmative action, which is going to be heard on Halloween, cases on voting rights. There's even a big voting rights case being argued tomorrow, and cases on LGBTQ protections butting up against religious freedom. And just this morning, the Supreme Court decided to review a new case involving Google and protections for tech companies under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. This has been, a key issue for many people on the right, And the Supreme Court just decided this morning that it would take up that case and hear argument later in the year. That could be an extremely serious case that could, upend how internet platforms operate, in the United States.
And James, I just want to squeeze in one last question quickly. You wrote over the weekend in an article, you wrote, John Roberts is the chief, but it's Clarence Thomas's court. What did you mean by that?
Clarence Thomas is the longest serving justice, and for many years, he's been on the fringe of this court's right flank. But recently, solo opinions that he wrote in the early and middle part of his career are now garnering 5 or 6 votes on the Supreme Court. And his method of originalism is now considered the default mode of constitutional interpretation for some other members of the court and for many lower court judges. You saw that in the Guns case, in which he wrote the majority opinion in a very originalist, history-focused way back in June. And the case I just mentioned about Section 230 protections for tech companies, 2 years ago, Clarence Thomas was the justice who called on the court to take up that issue. And this morning, his colleagues agreed to do that with him. And so I think very much he is an intellectual leader on the court. And, I think that we're going to see a lot of his ideas that he's been expressing in dissents for many years now garnering a majority and becoming the law of the land.
James Romoser, editor of SCOTUSblog. I hope we'll have you back when we get to some of those arguments and decisions. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.